Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of One Idiot, One Console because the other day's at work. The other one's at work. That's fun. Um, and also welcome to another episode of the 12 for 1 Christmas special, or whatever the hell you celebrate. Happy whatever. So for this episode, I thought it might be interesting to try and do a whole game where we start with zero food and just see how fucking bad this goes. So, we start, which this is starting with a completely normal beaver colony other than we have no food. That's the only difference. Alright, so gonna start with just the general shit that normally needs to be done. I've played this map before. Actually, oh my god, is this the map I think it is? Oh, pain. I didn't realize what map I picked. This is the map that I had my, hardest difficulty world on, which I have since lost. So that's very sad, actually. Alright, anyway, so we have zero no buffer. There is nothing. We are purely and only trying to fucking survive this. So I'm obviously going to kind of get some stuff moving here. Which I'm going to do what I usually do, which is create areas for everything, put everything that I'm going to eventually need down, and then work from there. Which includes all kinds of things. Like, obviously we need quite a few of these, which I actually think I might put 3 up here. I'm going to mark everything that needs to be marked. Yeah, that's not going to be a good spot. Alright, let's go here. Mark everything that needs to be marked. Set up all of the general infrastructure ahead of time so that when I hit go, they just do everything in the order that I need them to do it in immediately. Because if I don't do that currently, we are very much so dead. Oh, I thought these were birch before. They really might have been. Maybe they weren't. But yeah, no. So we're gonna aim for not dead. Which normally I would not be that concerned about this on what I'm doing as an easy difficulty world. But I'm doing this as easy difficulty because I really have no idea if I'm gonna survive this. So, we're gonna go with hopefully. Alright, so we've got all of that set up. I am much more focused on food right now than I am on anything else. Obviously. Which, again, I have a normal starting size, so this shouldn't be too horrible. You know, fuck it, let's just make this whole thing carrots. So this shouldn't be too terribly awful, but it's gonna suck a little bit, for sure. I think I've got it, but we will find out, because I did a challenge, you may have already seen that video. I did a challenge where I started with 100 beavers, and I thought that that was going to be easy, which I fucked up on the recording of it, so it's not... The initial try is not anywhere that you can see it, but I thought that was going to be a lot easier than it actually wound up being. It was not easy. If anything, I think having that many beavers probably just made it worse. I'm actually going to just rotate that one. There we go. Alright, we just get some quick storage. Whoop, wrong button. There we go. Alright, so we've got storage pretty much worked out. I'm gonna put down some housing. Alright, so we've got food, water, everything right now. So highest priority, I want one of these done, and I want one of these done. Next highest priority, I want these done. Ooh. Actually, I might just lower everything that I just did by one because I'm dumb. Yeah, let's go ahead and lower this to this. These to here. Once we get across there, we'll want this done. No, I'm going to leave that at the next level down, and then we're going to leave those neutral, and we're going to leave these neutral, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make half of these a lower priority. And then because I already have access to them, I'm just going to throw some shrubs on here. That'll do. Alright, go. Let's go ahead and up the amount of workers here. Alright, we've got our first food coming in. If this challenge goes well, I'm probably going to try it with no food and no water just to see how fucked I can get. Man, those things do not get very far, and I always forget about it. I should really be putting them down the side here. Oh well. I'm gonna let them build out the first wave for the most part, and then start putting down things like a science building and everything else. Either that or I might just try it again with no food on a harder difficulty. Just to see. Oh yeah, which I'm gonna want to dam this up too. I always forget about that. Okay. I will start setting up a dam here. I'm hoping to set up the least obnoxious possible dam to build, which I think that's what I landed on last time as well. Which I'll have to get them up here somehow, which is going to be kind of annoying. Especially because this just, like, I can't get there. Ah. Alright, so far so fine on the food, but we're going to be in real trouble if we can't get this going here in a second. Why do I not have a lot of beavers? There we go. That's fine. That can be at 2. Okay, this I do need to be a higher priority, as do I need this. So, need somebody to be working at those at all times. Alright. Somebody grew up, so we have no empty job postings. I'm gonna reorder this a little bit. Which you do start with quite a bit of access to wood on this map, which is always nice. And then I'm gonna do what I normally do, which is somewhere here. I'm gonna real quick set up a water wheel. Actually, no, I don't like that. Let's put it here. This is gonna be temporary anyway. But I always like to start with this which I'm gonna lower the priority of that one, and then we're gonna leave that one alone for the time being. I think I'd like some of this done. Alright, and then we're gonna start putting in a science hut or 2 or 5, however many. Which I know that these won't be staffable yet, that's fine. Where do I want to put you? Let's throw the extra in here. What's your name? Hip2. I guess he's hip too. Don't question me. Alright, we're getting some of this done, that's always good. I'm also gonna work on increasing their quality of life faster than I normally would, because I'm realizing slowly that that only helps me. Like, literally only helps. Oh. Yeah, we might have gotten a lot more done by now if I would have done that in the first place. Alright, we're starting to take down the big wood. That's fine. Only got one more kid, which should be okay in a moment. Oop. So that'll be 369. Let's at least get everybody in. Yeah, in and then surplus, I figure. Which, whenever these carrots grow, we'll know we're fine. Then probably what I'll do is retry this on a much harder difficulty. Yeah, so we'll take this as the practice run. At this point, it's pretty clear that we're gonna survive. I would not try this on hard mode, because we would already have hit something bad. Yeah, which now that the carrots have grown, we're fine. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back out here. We are going to create a new game. Yeah, we'll play with lakes again. I'm gonna play it on normal difficulty, and I am also going to, again, ooh, we start with no water on normal? Is that normal? That always like that? Alright. We're starting with nothing. I should not hum that. And we wait. And I have to figure out how to be entertaining over a screen of nothingness. I don't really know how. Hungrier. So, start and immediately pause. I'm gonna set up almost exactly the same as I just did. I'm sure I will get some stuff different, but here we go. Which I am gonna... Yeah, I am gonna start doing that. And that. Alright. Set everything up. Whee. There goes that. There goes this. Alright, we'll go ahead and set up all of the cutting areas again. I think I'm gonna do this way this time. That's kind of obnoxious placement, but I don't really care right now. There we go. I think this will immediately give them access to more of this forest, which would be very helpful. Then I'm going to leave this alone so that spreads that way. And same there. Alright. Same moves as before. Immediately getting farming up and running. Let's leave that there. Path down here. Did the same thing again. Eventually I will want that to be supply. I actually want the first one to be harvesting. I found that gets really difficult when it's not. Alright, we'll increase that. And priority. This one first, this one first. Those two first. That should be good. Let's get these guys moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, let's do that in this order. And then, again, just because I can. Banners. I always kind of forget there's banners now. Alright. We already have 2 empty workstations. What is happening? Oh shit, that's the... I need those. I need those. Like, badly, guys. Still the fucking berries. What is happening with my distribution, man? Okay, good, that's helpful. I've probably got all 3 in here, that's part of it. There we go. Alright. Theoretically, we're doing good now. We'll see. Oh yeah, this is much more difficult. Alright, so seeing as the field is planted, but we still don't have a lot of that. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and raise that even further so that they work on that first. They're not worrying about this yet, which is good. Man, the food is hard to keep up with. 30% of 4 days. Man, my brain is trying to do that math in every way that's the most complicated. Just don't do it, bro. Leave it alone. It ain't worth it. Mm-mm. Okay, we're starting to do good on food. It's water where we're kind of freaking out now. But that should be solved tomorrow. I still did not increase my hours. I keep doing this. Alright. This will be up and running tomorrow. It's already marked for higher priority, so they will directly move into working here. Sabum Rose. Welcome in. Zulyafi. I hope these aren't actual names somewhere, and I'm just stupid. Because some of them sound like they could be, but others sound like they've gotta be made up. Are you full up? Yeah, he's full up. Watu. Okay, there are so many fucking logs in this place, bro. It does not. So far, so good. About a day left on these. About a day left on most of them. Yeah, we're gonna have carrots soon. Sooner rather than later. This is sad to look at. I just leveled this entire area, if you didn't see it originally. And was putting in, like, working stuff, and I ran out of water. Like, completely. It dried everything out. And there was a little puddle all the way over here where this is deep, because I'd blocked off this bad water source. And it was full of water, so I put one of the water pumps on this and sent somebody all the way over, and I had 2 beavers left and was just watching these 2 beavers try to figure it out, and eventually one of them died, and I knew there was nothing to be done. Like, I think I could keep 1 beaver alive for a fairly long time, just rotating them between doing water and doing farming, but, you know, the fuck's the point? You're not gonna be able to increase the amount of, God, what am I, stupid? You're not gonna be able to, you won't be able to do anything, it won't fucking matter. You won't be able to increase the population again, there we go. Well, this seems to be a much easier challenge than I figure it is. We've caught up on water, we've caught up on food. We started out at a little bit of a deficit, but we're doing fine now. Let's get somebody else in here then. Shifting things up the priority list. Actually, yeah, okay, so I want this done first. Move this up to here. Alright, so I'm just gonna play this world until the end of the episode to see if this even slowed me down. Which so far, so no. And then, again, as always, if you liked this world and you want to see me play more of it, I will play more of it. I'm gonna put my forester over here, I figure. Oh, I don't even have science sheds. Hang on. Put them in the same spot as before, why not? Inventors, I guess. They just look like shacks, man. The science shack. This water moves fast, man. Alright, let's let that clear up a little bit. Or grow in, or whatever. Whatever words I intend to use. Oh yeah, which again with the... I should really be damming this up. Why? Me trying to get the finicky ass paths to work. Ah, great. Lumberjack flags. Oh, they're just the ones that are over here then. Let's actually pause one of you then. And you'll move over there, and then this can go there. Or pause. You'll know what I mean. Alright, let's again just get them to a point where they are all sleeping indoors, and I'm confident they're going to survive if I just leave the computer alone. Which actually they're pretty much already there. Yeah, I've even got well-being high score improving. Bad news, but they're sure not worried about it. Let's get the other two done, why not? Still got this entire forest of birch that I haven't touched, and this, so... Not particularly worried. And I could get across to there with relative ease. Well... I forget if my old world looked something like this. If you've been here from that world, you ought to tell me. And then we can all cry together in the comments. I 100% did not actually cry over that world. It was just a little upsetting. Okay? Just a little bit. Haha, Batman. Not really, but just enough that my brain's processing it. Or a mustache. Kind of tilted upward at the edges, but hey. You do you, buddy. go. Who doesn't have a worker? Or what, rather? Oh yeah, we don't even need these anymore, you good. It's interesting to see how far this can expand as you do stuff. I never really noticed that if you click on that, it does that. I think I did when I was first playing the game, but then I just didn't really have occasion to think about it, I guess. Okay, cool. I can move you somewhere else now. Let's move you both to there. Oh, and they're starting to eat into this just a little bit. Alrighty. Alright, so I want to get them to a point where I am, like, 100% sure, without a doubt, if I walked away completely right now, like, I just left for 6 hours, you know, that they'd be fine. So I want to set them up like this, so that they've got some stuff going on. And the next thing I'm going to do is increase, not both of them. We'll do one of those and then that. So I want to increase all of this. Well, 3 days, these should not dry out in 3 days, so that's fine. At least I got this done. Which whenever the drought actually reaches me, I guess. I could panic and try and build that really quickly, but I don't think it's going to matter. Alright. Oh, this was my giant reservoir. I had this whole thing, and then it went over to here, and there was another one right in this area. Yeah, I don't know if I can play this map anymore, it makes me so sad. Like, I remember all of it now. The memories are flooding back to me. I had processing for Spatterdock over here, and, like, all the bakeries, and then I had a little planting of maple trees down here. Which I never got to harvest. They never grew up, everybody died. I had zip lines going all the way out to all of the metal. To this one, and that one. I think I never got to this one, but I could have. There's more metal out here, too. I think this was the first one I went for. I can't remember, though. Might have been this one. It would make sense for me to go to that one. That's big, and I could get there by land. But no, I had zip lines and everything, and I had a huge storage area over here. Housing that was in this reservoir, like, sitting above it. I had a zipline hub, or the start of one, underwater. When I did the last outro, this whole thing was flooded and it had all the windmills built up on it. So I had it just, like, sat, like, here to just, like, listen to the sounds of the water, you know? For a minute or two. I don't remember how long. And, like, the only reason it was over here and not here, where it all started, was because it was too painful for me to look at this, and I didn't walk away, I stayed right there. I just, like, muted myself and hung out. Well, this wound up being a very sad episode. Yeah, honestly, we are at the point where I'm confident that they're gonna live. It's just taking them a long-ass time to do things now, so... Oop. Man, why do I have this paused? Yeah, you know, they might actually be getting shit done if that weren't fucking paused. I wonder, do the baby trees die any faster? Nah, it doesn't seem like it. What about these versus those? 13 days. Okay, so the oaks take longer to die. How long do these take? Those are at 8. Interesting. That took a lot less time to come back than it did to dry out, which is interesting. I don't know, maybe I'll try a hard mode world again. Probably not this map, though. It makes me sad. But no, I do think that this just has the right mix of resources to make it happen. Okay, can we not reach this, or what? Bring that up to the next priority. How close are we to that? Yeah, just finish that real quick. Sorry, this was not supposed to be a sad episode. This just got sad because I miss my old colony. I never deleted the world either, I still have it. Well, yeah, no, we are at the point with this world where I am 100% sure if I walked away, these guys would be fine, so. We have discovered that starting with no food is not much of a challenge. Kind of a little bit of a flop of an episode, but hey, you know, we still found something out. The hypothesis was it would be more difficult, and the answer was it's not. So, as always, thank you for watching. I do genuinely appreciate your company. I hope you have a good day, night, whatever it is for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!